and some people like this term, some people don't, but you're like a fractional CMO, but you almost seem like you're the whole department. You're not just a CMO because it's like you're doing some of the tactical work as well. Is
Yeah,
that a fair?
I'm in
fair-
execution as well, strategy and execution. Absolutely.
Well, that's the best of both worlds. A lot of people, they're like, oh yeah, fine. It's a cost center when you hire a fractional CMO because they have a lot of ideas and a lot of words. But then
Right.
somebody's okay, great. Now go do it. It sounds like you kind of do both. You have the strategy. That's the best of both worlds, as far as I can tell. What would you say then? And we can, there's some people out here in the audience that are probably 28, 30 years old, and maybe we're in high school or diapers when folks like us got our start. But what are some of the biggest changes? And I know one you mentioned, and I'll mention two is, I mean, I remember doing this stuff before you could find anybody to help you. You didn't have Meta, you barely had Google. That's my experience. What's kind of the journey? What were some inflection points in that 20 years?
Well, retargeting ads was one of the major industry inflection points when you were able to follow people around after they leave the website and bring them back to the website through various ad placements called visitor retargeting ads. That was a major leap forward because before they would just come to the site or landing page and then convert or not and leave, and you'd never be able to touch them again. So with retargeting ads, that was one of the major things that's been around over 10 years. Meta was big when it came on the scene, and that became a major acquisition channel. All the ad platforms, TikTok ads, Snap, there's just more ad platforms. There's just been a proliferation of ad platforms and they're all self-serve. So you can just launch a campaign, even TV, like Roku. Roku has an ad platform where you can, put your video in there and, pick a minimum budget and you can go run on TV for, $500 a month or whatever the budget is. So just being able to run multi-channel, multi-platform, I believe in implementing a multi-channel, multi-platform strategy that hits on multiple platforms simultaneously, as well as organic, because you need organic, SEO, you need great content, you need to use the social networks, organically if possible, and then you need a great paid advertising strategy to run ads to the right people using like influencer style videos on the platforms to advocate for the product or service and bring them to the website or landing page. So you use the influencer style content as the actual ad units themselves. So that's a major leap forward, where before it was just static ads or videos. Now you have the vertical videos, people advocating for the product, and the brand runs those as the actual ad units. And you can have 5 or 10 different videos made like that and run them on Meta, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. So that was a major advancement over the years. The other thing are just tools, website tools, website conversion tools. That could be pop-ups, that could be social proof, like Evan just purchased this product. Many tools can be plugged into the website. Wait before you go, like an exit intent pop-up. So tools have revolutionized e-commerce, certainly, but a lot of lead gen companies could use more tools. Lead gen companies actually don't implement enough tools. They don't prioritize like boosting conversion rate, capturing as much data, on all the visitors, retargeting them, using pop-up strategically to squeeze more out of the traffic than everyone else. So it's all about squeezing as much, lead volume, sale volume, and revenue out of the traffic you're already getting, so that can fund driving more traffic in the first place.
Yeah, no, yeah, and you're a man, and I knew this. It's been down in the weeds. I mean, there's
Yeah.
people that fly up at 38,000 feet and never, but you're down on the runway and up at 38,000 feet. That's what's really starting to come across. And it got to where, I mean, it's just utterly overwhelming trying to manage and be proficient at every one of these different platforms. And every now and again, you'll see somebody on LinkedIn or Upwork or wherever it is, expert, and then we'll name 25 different platforms, and you thinking, no, you're not. I mean,
Right.
every one of those is a full-time, it's like artisan work, it's like you're really good at one or maybe two of those things. But I think some of the best marketers are ones that are smart enough to realize I need somebody who truly is an expert in TikTok sort of thing. You make a great comment though about the tools. Because I'll tell you, do you remember the early days of Meta, or for that matter, Google Analytics? It was garbage. It was utter garbage. And you really were flying blindly.